Good morning. This is Mark Potts coming to you from the historic Jefferson County Courthouse. I've called this press conference in order to declare a state of emergency for Jefferson County. Let me say before I read this proclamation that there are no other dangers out there that wasn't out there before. There's no new information about the virus. This is simply a financial and a procedural move for the county. This proclamation defines what it means, what can be done. So on March 26, 2020, whereas on March the 12th, 2020, pursuant to the authority granted by the Tennessee Code, annotated 58-2-107, the Governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee, issued Executive Order Number 14, declaring a state of emergency to facilitate the response to COVID-19. And whereas on March 13th, 2020, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, declared a national state of emergency with respect to COVID-19. And whereas the spread and the identification of COVID-19 in Tennessee is likely to continue and therefore taking proactive steps to prevent a substantial risk to public health and safety is paramount. And whereas the Mutual Aid and Disaster Assistance Agreement Act of 2004 authorizes the mayor to declare a local state of emergency affecting such officials' jurisdiction by executive order, consistent and in accordance with Tennessee Code annotated 58-2110. Whereas Tennessee Code annotated 58-2-1, among other things, authorizes the county, upon the mayor's declaration of a local state of emergency, to waive certain procedures and formalities otherwise required by the county and by law. And whereas the proclamation of a local state of emergency may entitle the county to cost reimbursement as provided in Tennessee Code annotated 58-8-1. So ordered on this day, the 26th day of March, I, Mark Potts, the Honorable Mayor of Jefferson County, has signed and declared Jefferson County in a state of emergency. So what does this mean? It means you're at no more risk than you were yesterday. There's no new information that you should be alarmed about. This is simply a procedural financial move on behalf of the mayor to help the county. This will assist us as we seek reimbursement for our costs related to the COVID-19 through TEMA and FEMA. It also allows us to have the responsibility and the right to waive costs, to waive the bid process on anything that we might have to purchase. So during this time, if emergency management needs to buy supplies that exceeded our bid limit, that process would be waived in order that we could readily and fastly get those supplies and bring those to the county. What it doesn't do, this does not shelter in place, it does not close businesses, it doesn't do anything along those lines. The county mayors do not have the power to declare non-essential or essential businesses and close them. We do not have the power to tell someone to shelter in place. Those powers are exclusively the power of the governor of the state of Tennessee and the health officer for Jefferson County. The health officer for Jefferson County is Dr. Sturdivant, and she is regional health director, and she covers about 15 counties. I know of no information that those actions are indicated or will take place. What can you do? We want you to keep doing what you're doing. Jefferson County's doing a great job. We have some needs out in the county. We've asked for volunteers. People have stepped forward, and we're able to feed our senior citizens with hot meals and groceries. We're able to do that. We took Jefferson County people and solved Jefferson County problems. You should continue practicing the good practices that you're doing. You need to wash. You need to wash your hands often. You need to cover your cough. You need to clean high surface contact areas. You need to practice social distance when you're out. We want you to shop but not hoard. You can pick the times that you go shop. I've been out in the county at different times. There's times that there's people out. There's times that there's less people out. Most stores have set aside times for our seniors that they can shop with less exposure. Again, there's no reason to be alarmed. This is simply a procedural and a financial move on behalf of the county in order to help us to gain reimbursement and to allow us to waive the bid process if it comes to that point. I'll be happy to take any questions. I'm happy to announce that I have spoken with all the city and town mayors in Jefferson County. They understand this order. We have their full support, and Going forward, we've worked together as a county with other cities, and we will continue to work together as we combat this COVID-19 virus. Fortunately, with us today, I have Brad Phillips, Director of Jefferson County Emergency Management, Dr. Shane Johnson, Superintendent of Schools. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Do you have a time limit on how long this order will be in place?
The question is, if there's a time limit, how long? A state of emergency can only be declared for 7 days. It can be renewed again for another 7 days. So 7 days from now, this state of emergency expires. We'll assess the situation, may declare another state of emergency for an additional 7 days. We will evaluate this on a week-to-week basis, and we will respond accordingly.
Are there any other new cases that have been?
As of count yesterday, there were 4 cases in Jefferson County. Because of HIPAA violations, those patients or locations are not revealed to me or anyone else to protect their rights. I don't know who they are. The one thing I do know, we're testing more than we ever have. So when we test more, I anticipate that we'll have more cases. I'm not so sure that we have more cases spreading, but with us doing more testing, we're going to have more positive results.
Dr. Johnson, you had sent out a release about, or an announcement about the school being closed until the 24th. And I know that was just recent, so you may not have any other information, but do you foresee that going to the end of the year?
We've been told through Commissioner of Education and the Governor's office that they will revisit that as we get a little closer. They certainly pushed that, and they requested us close through April 24th. I assume most all districts at this point have made that announcement to do that. So in the meantime, we will continue to do, as the mayor alluded to, encouraging all of our employees and students to do the same things, the CDC guidance, and follow that guidance to make sure that we're being safe. We are having those feeding sites. We've encouraged all those that are volunteering to help man those to make sure we're in compliance there. So I anticipate we'll get more guidance from either the Department of Education or the Governor's office as we get closer to that April 24th deadline.
I'd like to ask the Director Phillips to please speak to the fact TEMA recently requested that we open our emergency operations centers. Brad Phillips already had that open. It's virtual, and if you could address that just briefly for us.
Yes, we've been operating what we call a virtual emergency operations center, just to keep from having all of our essential services department heads in one room together. We're communicating daily by phone and by email, assessing the needs of the county and being able to respond to those needs on a daily basis. Should it get more escalated in the county, then we could bring those people into one building so we can talk face to face. But currently, our virtual EOC is operating efficiently. If I could add one thing, if everyone can help us on the EMS side, is continue to use your safe practices. Don't be going out in public unless you absolutely have to. Avoid gathering in large crowds or having dinner parties and those kind of things that are not essential. Obviously, if you need essential supplies, we want you to go out and get those. But it helps us to slow the spread so we don't overwhelm our EMS and our emergency rooms at the hospital. So continue to practice those. Those are the best things to keep you from catching this virus, and we ask that you continue to do that to help us. Thank you.
Let me again remind you, there's no cause for alarm. There's no change in the danger or the risk that you have. Your good practices will help keep you safe. One area of our economy that has problems right now are our restaurants. They're unable to serve in our restaurants, but a lot of them have set up the capability to do carry out and drive through. Help your restaurants as you can. Be safe in doing that. Shop safely. Shop but don't hoard. And I can't emphasize enough, there's no more danger than there was. There's no cause for alarm. This is a procedural and a financial move on behalf of the county. If you need additional information about what's going on, you can go to the Jefferson County, Tennessee government webpage. We have links there to the COVID-19 virus. Also, Jeffco Jeffco GIS site has a lot of information. It's updated daily. There are people that need supplies in regard to PPE. National Guard Armory's collecting those, and we have links to those sites. There's ways that you can help, but the biggest way that you can help is practice the guidelines that the CDC and the Tennessee Department of Health have placed out for you. We thank you for your time. We appreciate everyone cooperating together. This is a difficult time in our history, something we've never been through before. But I want to brag on Jefferson County residents on the way that you have handled this and the way that you have responded. There's nothing that Jefferson County can't handle, and there's nothing that you can't do or we can't do together. And I want to thank you for the response of the residents of Jefferson County. We're here for you. If you need something, contact the mayor's office, go online to our website, or follow other resources that are available out there. Thank you.